Okay, so I'm very high and I just woke up. But I was just thinking, like, have you ever noticed how in fantasy stories, the most interesting characters or creatures are never the main character? Like, it's the hero is never, except for in comic books, the hero and heroine. It's never like the most beautiful elf. It's never like the most powerful wizard. Those are always like the side characters. It's never like the most noble, wise dragon or ent that's the main character. Though it's always like the boring human with like no natural talent or ability and just like a blank personality. Like a blank slate. They're boring, but because they're boring, they're also relatable because then you can kind of like imprint your own traits over the character. They're like blank. They're if you really were to like analyze the character, they're boring. Or maybe even below average. Like maybe they'll throw a hobbit in there. It's like below average in size and below average in ability and simple-minded, and yet that's the hero. That's the main character. Why? Are we that boring that we can't like look at these awesome mystical ideas and concepts and creatures and say, wow, they probably have a really awesome backstory. I'd be interested in hearing about that. No, it's gotta all be about us. We need a blank character that we can imprint ourselves over and put ourselves in the shoes of in order to like be interested in the story. I want a story about a dragon. Can a dragon be the main character? That'd be amazing. Like, why is it the dragons and the ents and like Shadowfax, the Lord of Horses, or like the talking eagles? Why are they always just transportation? Pack animals. They're reduced. They're like these incredibly sentient, ancient beings, and yet they are reduced to transportation for the main boring characters. Does anybody notice that? What is Shadowfax's background story? It's probably really interesting. I want to read that book. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I have reached a new level of high. I'm answering my own question, which I asked on my own video. I was musing about the fact that main character energy is usually a blank slate. Boring personality that you can imprint yourself over. And that all of the amazing ancient beings and powerful creatures and interesting characters are usually the side characters. Interesting things. They create interesting scenarios for this boring character. And then I was just sitting here wondering, maybe that's why I've never felt like I've had main character energy in my own life. Because I'm too fucking interesting to be the main character. Wow. If you feel like you're playing a supporting role in your life, maybe it's just because you're too cool. Yeah, we're going with that. Like, I am here as a guide to be a catalyst in other people's stories. Does that make sense? I'm not a main character. I'm too powerful to be a main character. Like, the story would be boring and the ending would be too predictable if somebody with my level of power took a main role. I am literally here to help grow the people that are average so that they can do amazing things. That's my role. It all makes sense now. You guys, everyone's sitting here thinking that they need to be like main character energy, or they need to play the villain, or the hero, or the victim. But what people don't understand, what they don't get, is that the most powerful role in any story is that of the supporting role. See, the supporting characters always have the most amazing traits about them. Either they're a powerful wizard, or they're the most beautiful elf, or they are the wisest ancient being, or they possess an amazing quality at such a high caliber level that it's almost like a superpower. So like Samwise Gamgee, his was like just this incredible loyalty and compassion and empathy for Frodo. And that it was actually like superhuman levels of just patience and loyalty. And it made him extraordinary. These supporting roles are the most extraordinary. And I've gone my whole life being offended by the fact that I'm not a main character, by the fact that I never stick around long in one place or in any one person's life, and it's because I am the supporting role for people, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually extraordinarily powerful. I create tower moments for people. I create catalysts for change in people's lives. I create the friction that they need to grow, and then once I've done that, I move on to another story. I'm sorry, I just realized something amazing about myself, and also something amazing about the world, the way the world works, that these supporting roles are actually the most amazing parts of the story. And there's nothing offensive about being a supporting character. It's actually pretty powerful.